Hi, I'm Leo and welcome to Scoldemy. In this tutorial, I'll be going over for loop, including for in and for of. Alright guys, at the end of this tutorial, if you think the video was helpful, please hit the like button. And if you have anything to say or any questions, just leave a comment. And if you're new, please consider subscribing for more updates. Alright, so basically the for loop is more or less a contraction of the while loop. Now the expression for the while loop carries only the tests, while that of the for loop carries both the initialize, the test, and the increment. So basically every loop takes a very simple pattern, and that is to have an initialize, a test, and an increment. So when we go to the while loop, first we put our initialize, and then in our expression we put our test, and outside we put our increments. But for the for loop, you put everything together separated by a semicolon. So that's the basic difference between the for loop and the while loop. Alright, so by initialize, I mean the starting point of your loop, and that's more like your initial value. That's where I have I equal to 0. And by test, I mean the condition. Now, most times for our while loop, our expression is equal to the condition, so it's only the conditions that we put in our expression. While for the for loop, the expression carries both the initialize, which is your initial value, the test, which is your condition, and the increment. And by increment, I mean addition. So for the next loop, you add one, the next one you add one, just like that. Alright, next we're going to move to for in. Alright, next up is the for in loop. Now the for in loop is quite different from the for loop, though they use the same keyword for. So how this works is you put the keyword for, you open up your bracket, and the expression would be variable in object. So you're going to create an object with some properties. So the for in looping statement loops through the properties of your object. So without the properties, JavaScript is going to skip the loop and go to the next one. So here I've created my objects, each with the property first name, a value Leo, last name and a value David, and the age 24. So here you write your keyword, which is for, then you open up your brackets, and then you put the name of the variable, which is x, and you put the keyword in, and the name of the object, which would be me. Now when I save this and reload in my browser, you'll notice it's going to fetch the values of my object. So when I save and go back to my browser and reload, you notice I have Leo David 24, which are the values of these objects. Now let's say I want to get the properties and not the values. I'll come here and I'll remove me. I'll put only x, which is the variable. So when I do this and save, you'll notice it's going to give me the properties, which is more like a variable and not the value. So when I save, I'm going to get first name, last name, age. So secondly, we also use the for in loop to get the index of an array, and we all know that an array is also an object. Alright, the last one is for of. Now the for of looping statement provides yet another way to loop over the elements of a collection. So we use this a lot with the array. So it takes the same syntax with for in. You put the keyword for, and then you open up your bracket inside variable of object. So that's the way it goes, and then you open up your curly braces and you put your block of code. Now like I said before, we use for in to get the index of an array, while we use for of to get the elements of that array. So here I have my array, John, Peter, Paul, and David being the elements. So when I save this and go back to my browser, you'll notice instead of giving me John, Peter, Paul, and David, it's going to give me the index of these elements. So now when I reload this, I'm going to get 0, 1, 2, 3. And like we said when we did array, the first position is 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now when I change this to of, notice that it's going to give me the elements of the array and not the index. So when I reload, it's going to give me the elements of the array. So that's the basic difference between for of and for in, and also what you can do with for of. Alright, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks, and have